When I made that video about spending $100 on the best DSiWare games, it was the first time I'd seen a lot of them in action. My research consisted almost entirely of just going on Reddit, seeing what people enjoyed and adding them to a list. So when I saw Kappa's trail for the first time, I was intrigued. It looked fun and sort of like a more colorful Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks. In reality, it's more like the DS Zelda games made a baby with Kirby Canvas Curse, while Pikmin watched in the corner telling knock-knock jokes. You play as a Kappa in a Kappa's trail. I'm not sure what a Kappa is, but apparently it's a weird duck thing with a giant head. You use the stylus to guide the Kappa through stages, all while dodging enemies and tapping obstacles like boulders to clear your path. Now, I know what you're thinking. If P isn't stored in the balls, what exactly are the balls for? And you're right. With any game like this, you want to know how the controls are before anything else. The answer is, the controls are absolutely perfect. I never had an issue with the trail or the stylus, and if you do make a mistake with your trail, you can either use the scissor icon to completely eliminate your path, or you can just redraw from a certain point and continue on from there. Plus, a Kappa's trail throws several enemies at you that you have to dodge, and if you get too close to a ledge, the Kappa will start sweating. It's just a nice little touch that helps add to the charm of this game. If that's all there was to a Kappa's trail, I'd probably still include it on this list, but the developers went above and beyond. For starters, you collect Pikmin-like creatures called mini Kappas throughout the levels that can do things like beat up enemies or create a bridge to new areas. To further expand the game, there's an enemy called the Devil's Hand that chases you. The Devil's Hand will follow along your previously drawn trails, so if you aren't careful, it can catch up to you and bring you back to the beginning of the level. It's clear the developers were heavily inspired by Zelda and Kirby Canvas Curse, but they weren't just content with a simple copy and paste. They added their own uniqueness to the experience, making it stand out from those borrowed from. If you absolutely despise touchscreen controlled DS games, a Kappa's Trail is exactly that. But if you want more Phantom Hourglass or more Kirby Canvas Curse, this is a game you need to add to your DSiWare collection. In terms of length, I was fully expecting the game to end after the first 4 levels. They all offered some level of variety, had decent length, and the 4th and final level was more intense than any moment I can remember from Spirit Tracks. And if the story did end there, that would have been fine with me. But you know what? After beating the 4th level in the first world, another world with another 4 levels opened up. And there's even more levels after that. Dark Void Zero had 3 total, and a Kappa's Trail absolutely blows it out of the water in terms of content. I had set a loose 2-hour time limit for all these games on this video, so it didn't take a month to make. Well, I sailed past that limit with a Kappa's Trail and kept playing until I was done. When it comes to difficulty, I feel I need to make a distinction here. There's a difference between hard and challenging. Dark Void Zero is hard, a Kappa's Trail is challenging. A Kappa's Trail has several hazards in your way and will require quick thinking to survive, but because the controls are never an issue and you can use your wits to outsmart the Devil's Hand, I never found it outright hard. Plus, things get stupid intense in the boss levels, but never unfair. I know you want me to say something negative about a Kappa's Trail, so I will. It's kind of the same negatives that have been plaguing other DSiWare titles, the sound. When you're down to 1 heart, the annoying low health sound never stops. Plus, some of the tracks do repeat too quickly, but overall I'd say the music is awesome. During boss fights, the more you progress, the more intense and fast-paced the song becomes, adding to the frantic pace of the gameplay. That's how good a Kappa's Trail is. I can turn its negatives into positives. Unlike Spirit Tracks, where the Spirit Flute is the worst thing ever implemented in a video game ever. I won't talk any more about a Kappa's Trail because this is a game you have to play for yourself. If I said anything else, it would be spoiling the experience. I was absolutely blown away by the gameplay and amount of content. For $5, this is a no-brainer, and join Soul of Darkness in S tier. And you know what? I'm about to say it. This is better than Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks.